Hey there, students. Mr. Wolf here, and we're going to be taking a few moments to look over the exemplar website of your project, your Witness to History project right now. And this one is going to be sampled off of Elie Wiesel himself. So this isn't the guy you're going to be able to do, because we know a lot about him already. You'll have a lot of options to do with that. But we're going to take just a look at the website, kind of get an idea of the content and what you should be looking for here. So right off the bat, I'm just going to scroll down and give you guys an opportunity to kind of just look through what's in this site. Okay, so we'll take a few moments to do that. Okay. All right, and then there's last little quote at the bottom for fun there. So let's go ahead and scroll back up all the way to the top, and we're just going to walk through exactly all of the content of this. Now, that might be a little overwhelming. Like, wow, this is a really big site. There's a lot of information. When you break it down day to day, and we go through kind of this process, I promise you it's not too crazy, okay? Now, this is also an exemplar, so keep that in mind when it comes to the expectations there. So we start off with a little biography, right? A biography on our subject, our character, whatever it is we're doing this on. Again, remember, this is going to be a topic that you're going to be, or a website you're doing a biography on somebody who's witnessed history, somebody who's made an impact, an everyday person who's just lived during extraordinary times and under extraordinary circumstances, okay? So we have Elie Wiesel, and a little bit of information about him, where he was born to, little background information on him and his experiences. So this goes over the entire, broadly his entire life, including when he dies in 2016. Now, we've got, a token picture of him, and then there's also this presentation slide. That's just an opportunity to, and a lot of this you've seen already, but an opportunity to just kind of encapsulate some of those details and more bullet points, maybe flesh out some extra stuff as well. Nothing too crazy, but just certain things that, maybe putting in the paragraphs will be just a little cumbersome, so you can kind of give some bullet points of his life. And there's definitely websites and sources that can offer that detail for you, right? So some pictures of him and his wife and his son, things like that, and then maybe other things, including when he won his Nobel Peace Prize, all that stuff you've seen already, so no big deal there. So then we need to get to context, the historical context. So every person we're going to be looking at is somebody who has lived in a very specific time period, going through a certain experience, and so we want to encapsulate that. Now, this one's a very specific one. World War II and the Holocaust is kind of what he's known for, right? So this is our kind of walk into the history a little bit. It needs to be, in some ways, framed around our character, whoever it is you've chosen, so it can't just simply be a lot of detail there. But you want to talk about what was going on and what brought about this whole situation that they were involved in. So, right, okay, so in this case, we talk about World War II. There's a lot of detail there. And then there is some background on how Germany came to power, and they started targeting Jews, because that's really what that Wiesel is. And then, of course, how did things eventually end? Now, this also includes a little bit of detail in regards to when the Allies came in and they defeated Germany, what happened to those prisoners. We kind of end with that, all right? And remember, using those resources that we have, we've got it broken down by every section, so you should have some details in every section that you can look at and say, okay, this is kind of what I need to make. Okay, so yours is going to look a little different, obviously. But so you'll notice that there is a carousel of pictures from the internet, ones you consider like helpful to kind of get an idea of what people went through. So a lot of the pictures you'll see here are of the Holocaust and of people, and then there's devastation and so on. Some pictures of Hitler and whatnot. Those carousels sometimes do some goofy things with pictures, so you have to be careful about which one you choose. But there you go. And then I also, just tossed in a video. I found a video that kind of goes over World War II, of course, Crash Course. John Green's my man, so here he is. That helps to kind of encapsulate that. Now, that's not just a background. That's kind of like a why it happened, not just what happened, right? Because John Green's not just all about the, like, let's give us a bunch of dates and, details. He wants to talk about the human element. So, lastly, we have the impact. Okay? So, in this case, I focused on a couple of different things. You may not have a character who does that, but I focused on his writing, and then I also focused on his accomplishments. because he has multiple accomplishments. He has a foundation and the Peace Prize, and he was a speaker. But a lot of his writing was the conduit for his contribution, his change, right? So with those details, I ultimately come and I go, okay, so what was this guy's impact? Like, so he was involved in the Holocaust. So what did that mean? So this is a pretty big paragraph you're looking at, and probably getting a little bit like, whoa, that's a lot of information. But know that there's some big quotes in there as well, because we do want to back that up. We do want to back up our points that we're making about what this person contributed. And I guarantee the kind of folks that you're going to find, there will be details on what was their contribution, what was their lasting legacy, okay? So the other thing you're going to be doing there is you're going to make either a wee video or a screencast of some sort, but something that records you, okay? It records you reading out your paragraph, your PEA paragraph, with, you know, maybe some imagery and some details of the of your subject, okay? And then lastly, some resources, just, you know, resources that maybe on this person or their legacy. In this case, we've got some tribute site to him. We've got the Center for Jewish Studies that was opened by Boston University for him, his foundation, biography, bibliography, that's all the stuff he wrote. And then the interview with Elie Wiesel by Oprah. It was a pretty seminal moment for people. A lot of people didn't know about him until then. And then, of course, just a deep quote from him. And you can kind of finish off how you feel fit. It doesn't have to be a quote or anything like that. So a lot of stuff here, obviously, but we're going to take this piece by piece as we build our site, but know that it's, you know, it's a clean and organized site. So you want to kind of make some decisions in regards to how you structure it and so on. But again, look at the rubric. Make sure you're looking at all those materials, taking it chunk by chunk, and we'll get through it and have some pretty cool looking websites when we're all done. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you soon. Bye.